What if the path to happiness isn't about changing yourself, fixing what's broken, or becoming someone new, but about accepting who you already are? It's a strange idea in a world obsessed with improvement. Self-help books, motivational quotes, endless social media comparisons, all of them whisper the same message. You're not enough yet. You need to be more. But what if that very pursuit is keeping happiness just out of reach? What if the key is not to keep striving, but to stop resisting, and to accept yourself fully just as you are? At first glance, self-acceptance can seem like giving up. Doesn't accepting yourself mean settling for less? Won't you stop growing if you just accept all your flaws? It's a fair question, and one that psychology has explored deeply. The surprising answer is no. In fact, the opposite is true. People who accept themselves fully tend to grow more, not less. Why? Because true self-acceptance creates a stable foundation. From that foundation, you can grow in ways that are healthy, authentic, and sustainable, rather than out of fear, shame, or comparison. In psychological terms, self-acceptance is a core component of well-being. According to the renowned psychologist Carl Rogers, when people feel unconditionally accepted, especially by themselves, they're more likely to change and grow. He called this paradox the curious paradox. The moment I accept myself just as I am, then I can change. Rogers believed that we all have an inner drive toward growth and fulfillment, but that drive only activates when we feel safe and worthy, right now, not someday in the future. This is where mindfulness enters the conversation. Mindfulness teaches us to observe our experience without judgment, to see thoughts, emotions, and sensations as they are, without labeling them as good or bad. That includes the parts of ourselves we usually try to hide or deny. The insecurity, the anger, the fear, the shame. When we practice mindfulness, we begin to notice just how often we reject ourselves in small ways. A mistake at work turns into a wave of self-criticism. A moment of anxiety becomes a reason to feel weak. A bad day becomes proof that we're not good enough. But mindfulness invites a different approach. What if, instead of rejecting these parts of ourselves, we welcomed them? Imagine what it would be like to be your own ally rather than your harshest critic. To speak to yourself the way you would speak to a struggling friend. Studies show that self-compassion, a key element of self-acceptance, actually reduces anxiety, depression, and stress, and improves overall life satisfaction. And self-compassion isn't about pretending everything is fine. It's about being honest with yourself while also being kind. It's saying, yes, I made a mistake, and I'm still worthy of love and respect. The challenge is that most of us grew up with conditional acceptance. We learned early that love, praise, and approval often came only when we behaved a certain way, looked a certain way, or achieved certain things. Over time, we internalized the belief that we must earn our worth. But happiness isn't something you earn. It's something you uncover when you stop rejecting yourself. Psychologists also talk about the concept of the ideal self versus the actual self. When there's a large gap between who we think we should be and who we really are, it creates emotional tension, sometimes called cognitive dissonance. This inner conflict can lead to chronic dissatisfaction, low self-esteem, and even depression. But here's the twist. Closing that gap doesn't mean becoming your ideal self. It means learning to embrace your actual self with honesty and compassion. And often, the pressure to become someone else softens naturally once we feel accepted just as we are. Let's consider how self-acceptance impacts relationships. When we reject parts of ourselves, we often project that rejection onto others. We may seek constant validation, hide our true feelings, or judge others harshly, because we're doing the same to ourselves. But when you accept yourself, flaws and all, you become more authentic. You don't need to wear masks. You can show up as you are. That vulnerability leads to deeper, more meaningful connections, which are strongly linked to long-term happiness. Self-acceptance also frees up mental energy. Think about how much time and effort goes into trying to appear perfect, proving your worth, or suppressing emotions. What if you could use that energy for something else, like creativity, connection, or simply being present in your life? When you stop fighting yourself, you make space for joy. You start to notice the beauty in small things. You feel less threatened by setbacks. You trust yourself more. And most importantly, you start to feel like you're enough. Not someday, but now. Accepting yourself fully doesn't mean liking every part of yourself. It means acknowledging all parts without denial, without shame. It means understanding that your worth isn't conditional. It's inherent. You are not broken. You are a whole human being with strengths, weaknesses, triumphs, and pain. And all of it belongs. The parts you hide, the parts you're proud of, the parts you wish you could change, they're all pieces of the same puzzle. You cannot be whole if you are at war with yourself. So how do you practice this in everyday life? Start by noticing when you judge yourself. Pay attention to the voice in your head. Is it kind or critical? Then ask yourself, would I speak to someone I love this way? Bring awareness to moments of discomfort, and instead of pushing them away, get curious. What am I feeling right now? What does this part of me need? Instead of numbing or distracting, try to sit with your experience, even if it's hard. And remember, acceptance doesn't mean passivity. It means facing reality with open eyes and an open heart. The path to happiness isn't paved with perfection. It's paved with presence, patience, and self-acceptance. The people who are truly happy aren't the ones who have conquered all their flaws. They're the ones who have stopped trying to prove they're flawless. They've learned that it's okay to be messy, to be growing, to be human. And in that radical act of acceptance, they've discovered a happiness that no achievement can give and no failure can take away. So maybe the next time you feel the urge to fix yourself, pause, breathe, ask yourself, what if I'm already enough? What if I don't have to become anything else to be worthy of happiness? What if the only thing standing between me and peace is the belief that I don't deserve it yet? And what if the moment you let that belief go, you discover that happiness has been within you all along, quietly waiting for your permission to feel it? Happiness begins with you, right here, right now. It's not hidden in the distant future or locked away in someone else's approval. You have the power to create it within yourself, no matter what your circumstances look like. Life will always have ups and downs, but your happiness doesn't have to depend on them. When you choose to embrace each day with a positive mindset, you give yourself permission to feel joy even in the smallest things. The laughter of a loved one, the sound of rain, the feeling of progress no matter how slow. You don't need to be perfect, have everything figured out, or constantly be achieving more to be happy. You simply need to start appreciating where you are and who you're becoming. Let go of the weight of expectations and comparisons, and start showing up for yourself with kindness, patience, and love. Believe that you are worthy of happiness, not because of what you've done, but because of who you are. Every time you smile through a tough day, keep going when it's hard, or find beauty in an ordinary moment, you are choosing happiness. And that choice, it's powerful. It transforms your life from the inside out. So keep choosing it, keep believing in it, and most of all, keep believing in yourself. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and share this video if you found it insightful and helpful. And subscribe to this channel to continue discovering more habits that awaken the happiness within. Also, turn on the bell notification so you're always the first to be notified whenever a new video is uploaded here. See you in our other videos.